A new mentoring program is set to help match experienced exporters with businesses looking to grow their international trade for the first time. The scheme was launched by the Department for International Trade this morning, with one of the first to take part, Quick's farm near Crediton, which welcomed the Minister for Exports, Graham Stewart. It will be run in partnership with the Agriculture and Horticulture Development Board and the National Farmers Union.
Well, it's all part of a package we're putting forward to support farmers across the United Kingdom and help them export more to international markets. Delighted that Mary has agreed to be one of our first agri-mentors because when you're looking to start selling abroad, it's useful to be able to talk to someone who's had years of experience, and Mary's kindly offering to share hers with wannabe exporters.
Just how did this scheme come about?
Well, alongside the Internationalisation Fund that does provide grants to businesses in England to start their exporting journey, the Open Doors campaign, which is designed to promote the benefits of entering international markets, being more productive, being more innovative, typically more profitable. We want to have all the practical support that we can give. We have international trade advisors across the country who are employed by the Department for International Trade, but we also want to use and harness the expertise of people like Mary to help those who are either exporting for the first time or seeking to grow their business.
What would you say to encourage other farms and businesses across the country to take part?
Well, 97% of food and drink businesses in this country are small and medium enterprises, and we know from research that you don't know what you don't know. So that's why we've also come up with the Export Academy, providing online tools which people can access going to great.gov.uk, and as I say, a range of support from government in order to get going on it. By diversifying your sales base, it's just like a diversified investment portfolio. It's sounder, it's more resilient, and it'll help the business in the long term. So to any farmer out there who wants to hand down their farm to their children and their grandchildren, I'd say look at international markets, diversify the base, and be sure that the UK government, through the Department for International Trade and indeed DEFRA, are on hand to support you every step of the way.
Just how challenging has it been for farmers, and especially with exports, with Brexit, the challenges of COVID-19 as well?
The pandemic's had a big impact. Obviously, the frictions at the border now with the EU are greater than they were. Every day, I'm pleased to say, those frictions are being reduced, but inevitably there's going to be some with the EU. We're looking to minimise that, maximise and support sales. We're also looking to open up the rest of the world, which is why we are negotiating with Australia, with New Zealand. We're looking to join the CPTPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and of course we're also talking to the United States. Most global growth is expected to be outside of Europe over coming years, and there's nothing with a higher provenance, a higher quality than British food and drink, and so we're determined to open up global markets. And having negotiated those agreements, the most important next thing is to make sure businesses take advantage of it and are aware of it, and that's what the Open Doors programme and our mentoring programme is all about. To mention the negotiation with Australia, some fear that perhaps British farmers will be swamped by production there. It's worth noting that Australia already has a quota, an amount it's allowed to sell into the UK, and has never used all of it. So the idea that Australia is going to swamp the UK, I don't think is right. The fastest growing meat markets in the world are in Asia rather than Europe, and therefore by opening the doors into the Asian markets, then we're going to allow the producers of premium British food and drink to sell into those markets more profitably and for the long term.
Finally, what's your favourite cheese? Anything that's taken your eye this morning?
Well, I think the mature cheddar, which they keep for 2 years, actually, like so many great discoveries, came by accident when I think in Foot and Mouth the shop wasn't open for a couple of years, and then when they explored the cheese which they'd kept for 2 years, they found it had a complex set of flavours, and it's now become their fanciest and hopefully most profitable cheese, and I was delighted to taste some of that this morning.
Quick's, here in the mid-Devon countryside, is already taking advantage of the USA's decision to suspend 25% tariffs on British cheese, and will be sharing their exporting tips with other dairy producers as part of this scheme.
I was asked both by the NFU and by AHDB if I would sign up for it, so I have no idea why I came in top of the heap. I suppose we've been exporting for a very long time, since the 80s.
What does this new scheme bring to businesses like yourself?
Well, I think it's really great that government's actually interested in the trials and tribulations of businesses trying to export, and if we can share what we've learned. But I think what's great is it's part of a whole package that suggests to me that government right now, their attention is on assisting business to export, and I hope that attention span remains.
Just how exciting is it and optimistic going forward for the future?
There's lots of opportunities out there, and absolutely we need to make use of them, because with COVID we saw a real contraction of our sales, and thanks to all those wonderful people who bought stuff online, that's great, but we've also got to restore our export sales.
Just how has it been, the challenges of COVID-19 and the exports with Brexit happening?
Crikey. Well, initially, this time last year, our sales dropped to 40%. So we lost 60% from food service and from deli counters. And gradually, we built that up. So by the end of the year, with all those wonderful people who bought online and cutting cheese up into teeny weeny bits as pre-packs, it's now 75%. And now we've got to get back to where we were and then go on from there.
There is a global demand for British agriculture, food and drink businesses, with the UK exporting 21.7 billion worth of food and drink in 2020. New opportunities like this could mean more money for farmers across the UK, which they could then use to invest in their staff, their businesses and future. Lewis Clark, Devon Live, Newton St Ives.